കോളേജിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു മെമ്പറാണ്.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna,
It's all connected. You are able to connect to wife and congregation.
Everything is right. I've shared you the link. Please share this YouTube link. I've shared the Zoom link, but the YouTube link I have not shared. I've shared in the code.
ये वाला ये वाला ये वाला
हाँ
ये वाला
हाँ
कहाँ पे भेजने के बोल रहे हैं?
अपने These are what
ये ग्रुप यूट्यूब वाला इसमें बोल रहे हैं ना?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Gaura Premananda, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. So, it's our great fortune, utilize, it's our honor to have with us today His Grace Gauranga Darshan prabhuji. And in our traditional style, we welcome prabhuji by loudly chanting Hari Bol. Hari Bol! Prabhuji, which doesn't need much introduction, he is known all over the world for his beautiful nectarian recitation of the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, so many beautiful scriptures.
You can remove this.
And from childhood, from his beginning days in schools in Andhra Pradesh, he has have that so much of attraction, for reading the scriptures and applying the principles of scriptures in our whole life. And he was studying here in ISC Bangalore with his master's. Then he joined the corporate world, in research and so on. But then Lord called him for a higher purpose, and he joined as a brahmachari. And then he dedicated his life completely not for studying Bhagavad Gita, for studying Bhagavad Gita, beautiful scriptures, and also how we can encourage others to live on the basis of the scriptures. And he has been doing it now for 2 decades. And we are very, very fortunate that some of you might have heard in some YouTube links that we have shared over the last 2 days. Now, Center he was talking about how to study this scriptures with the right mood and with the right method. Right? And in this season today, say so much of this experience of sharing how we can apply this into our own life. And most importantly, this is the Q&A session. So we encourage and request all of you to ask questions. Of course, not any questions, but the most important questions that they should ask: how can we get closer to them? How can we develop ourselves in our path spirituality? So we request to whatever the questions you might have seen over the last couple of months in your journey. Feel free to ask these questions. To answer your queries that may be there for the lifetimes of our years. So with that, small introduction. Welcome prabhuji to enlighten and this also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hare 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 Krishna. This mic is special. It's okay. You are able to hear me? Clear? Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrita. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very happy and grateful to be amongst all of you today. Such a wonderful assembly. I like the deities and I like the classroom here. As soon as I entered here, it has such a sweet, wonderful ambience, not only with bright-faced devotees and beautiful deities, but also very unique ambience here. And even the title of this building also, the name of the building also attracted me, Akshara Yoga. Right? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about yoga. He speaks about 4 types of yoga. One is Karma Yoga, second is Jnana Yoga, third is Dhyana Yoga, fourth is Bhakti Yoga. Yoga means to connect with God. Karma Yoga means to connect with God through karma. What is karma? Work. So if you are trying to connect with the Lord through our work, it is called Karma Yoga. Simple. And if you are trying to connect with the Lord through Jnana, knowledge, it is called Jnana Yoga. If you are trying to connect with God through Dhyana, meditation, it is called Dhyana Yoga, which is also called Ashtanga Yoga sometimes. And if we try to connect with the Lord through love, through devotion, through devotional service, it is called Bhakti Yoga. And that is the ultimate message of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhakti means love, devotion for the Lord. If you love someone, naturally you want to serve that person, right? Does it work like this? I love you, but don't ask me to do anything for you. Right? Where is love there? So love indicates some service. So service is done with our senses, right? Our body. So karma or work is definitely included in bhakti. Do you agree? Right? Bhakti includes karma. Because you love that person, you naturally want to work for that person. So bhakti includes karma. Then, if you love that person, naturally you know that person, right? You should have some knowledge about that person. Otherwise, how can you love? How can you love a person who is not known to you at all? So, jnana is included in bhakti. You agree? If you love some person, you naturally think of him, isn't it? You'll think about that person. Dhyana, meditation. So dhyana is included in bhakti, right? So Krishna spoke about 4 yogas in Bhagavad Gita. What are they? Karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga. Out of these 4 yogas, bhakti is the ultimate, topmost. And that bhakti includes karma, jnana and dhyana. Clear? So the ultimate message that Krishna is giving us in Bhagavad Gita is to perform bhakti unto him, to love him, to lovingly serve him, to lovingly know him, to lovingly think of him. Krishna said in Gita, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Manmana, always think of me. Bhava madbhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer your namaskar to me. Right? It's so simple. So the process of bhakti is extremely simple. Very easy to relate with. Okay? So bhakti includes karma, jnana and dhyana. Bhakti yoga. So you are trying to connect with God through devotion, that is bhakti yoga. Right? That is about yoga. What about akshara? Krishna spoke about akshara also in this Bhagavad Gita. So there are 2 types of living beings. Dvamimau purushau loke ksharakshakshara evacha. Kshara and akshara. Kshara means fallible. That which has a tendency to deteriorate, get diminished or get decreased. Kshara means that which is fallible. Akshara means that is infallible. Akshara yoga. That yoga path that is never fallible means this. If you follow this yoga path, you will never fall down from there. It will only take you in a progressive path and doesn't. There is no scope for degradation, right? Akshara yoga. I'm just staring. What impressed me as soon as I entered here, and you are all trying to follow this Akshara yoga. Means infallible path of yoga of connecting with the Lord, which is actually yoga. So I will just share a few lessons from Bhagavad Gita as the organizers have asked me to. Prominent lessons which I adore a lot. You can share your thoughts. You can ask questions if you have. You can share your reflections. In this way, we can spend the next 1 hour. Fine. So one prominent lesson that Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita is the art of tolerance, which is connected with the art of equanimity. This is the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama payino nityah tamstitikshasva bharata. So Krishna says that in this world, people encounter heat and cold because of summer and winter. Very natural. Just as we encounter heat and cold due to summer and winter, we also encounter happiness and distress. Heat and cold are experienced on a physical plane, but happiness and distress are experienced on an internal plane. They're internal, mind experiences, right? We equip ourselves to deal with the heat and cold. When it is very cold, we have our sweaters, shawls, jerkins ready, monkey caps, socks, gloves ready, depending on the temperature outside. When it is very hot outside, naturally we have our fans and ACs ready, coolers ready. So we make arrangements to deal with heat and cold in this world. But how many of us make arrangements to deal with happiness and distress in this world? So an average human being gets overwhelmed when there is a happy moment, and also he gets overwhelmed when there is a distressful moment. When there is a happy moment, the tendency of an average human being is to get so excited, so elated, so overconfident, and become proud also. Right? You can rejoice happiness. You can definitely rejoice a happy moment, but one need not become so overconfident and overwhelmed by it. Also, he gets overwhelmed when there is a Similarly, when distress comes, yes, we have to deal with distress, no doubt. We have to deal with it in a very dignified way. We have to counteract the reason for that difficulty, but we should not become so demotivated or discouraged or depressed and become dysfunctional. It's not worth. So difficulties should not make us dysfunctional. Difficulties should increase our determination to do work in the right direction. Okay. So Krishna is giving this important lesson. Sitoshta sukha dukkadaha agama apayino anityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. So happiness and distress comes and goes. Don't get so overwhelmed by it. Titiksha, please tolerate it. Learn to tolerate happiness and distress. Tolerating distress is fine. How can you tolerate happiness? That's what I said sometime back. You have to tolerate happiness also. Don't get so overwhelmed and become overconfident and proud just because you have become successful one day. Success, failure, victory, defeat, happiness, distress, heat, cold, darkness, light. These are all dualities in this world. They're common. Right? We have to deal with them without getting overly affected by it. So that's the art of tolerance. This is one of the most prominent and foremost lessons that Krishna has given in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna started speaking in Bhagavad Gita from the 11th shloka of the second chapter, and in the 14th shloka he is giving this lesson. Okay. So yam hinam yathayantyete purusham purusharshabha sama dukkha sukham dhiram so amritatvaya kalpati. Amritatva. Mriti means death. Amritatva means deathlessness, immortality. Fine. Liberation. So when we have the ability and bandwidth to tolerate happiness and distress and look at them in an equal plane, how can happiness and distress be equal? They both cannot be equal. They're opposite in natures. But they're equal in the sense that both are temporary. Happiness is temporary. Distress is also temporary. As temporary as ripples on a flowing river. Have you ever seen a flowing river? A river is flowing like this. Okay. And you just focus at one point on the surface of the river. Water is flowing. Right. So there is some high tide. The volume of water will just go slightly up. How long it will be? It will be at that altitude. Within a moment, within a fraction of a second, it will go down. Just like ripples just go up and then go down on the surface of a flowing river. Similarly, happiness also comes and then goes in the life of a person. It's temporary. Okay. Yes, you can enjoy it. You can rejoice a happy moment, no doubt about it. But don't get so overly attached to it or overly elated by it. Don't become overconfident by it. I got first rank in my exam. Whole life you cannot get first rank. There will be so many talented people who can outsmart us one day. So instead of getting so overwhelmed with pride and overconfidence by getting a first rank, or instead of getting so depressed just because we got some second rank one day, sometimes students will feel that, oh, I'm a first ranker, today I got second rank, let me commit suicide. They can't accept the defeat. Okay, sometimes it happens. So don't get into this comparison with others. So we don't have to be the best. We can do our best. We need not be the best. We can do our best. Compare with ourselves. So what was my performance earlier and what is my performance now? There is an improvement, right? Let me be satisfied. I need not be the first ranker in the entire classroom. So anyways, coming to the main point, one who is able to tolerate happiness and tolerate distress is qualified for liberation. Because happiness is temporary, distress is temporary in this material world. If you are not getting overwhelmed or overly affected by it, we are qualified for spiritual plane. Okay, we are being unaffected by material plane, so we are ready for spiritual plane. So somritatvaya kalpate. How many of you want amritatva? Anyone here aspiring for amritatva? Right, immortality, liberation from all material pangs. So we need to learn this art of equanimity, equal vision amidst all the ever-changing circumstances in life. So now, one more point, one more lesson, a lesson of equanimity and tolerance we have seen. Krishna also talks about art of speaking in this Bhagavad Gita. So on a personal level, we need to learn to tolerate happiness and distress. Okay. And when we are interacting with other people, we should learn the art of effective communication with others. Because our communication with others, our interaction with others is very much based on speech. We speak and they hear, they speak and we hear. So speech has a very, very important role to play in relationships, in communication, in our interactions, isn't it? So how to effectively speak, how to effectively communicate? Krishna has some tips. He says, Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. Anudvegakaram vakyam. We should speak in such a way that it doesn't cause udvega in others. What is udvega? Agitation, right? So we should not become agitated and we should not speak in an agitating tone. Anudvega karam vakyam. Satyam, you should speak satyam, you should be truthful. But what is the point of conveying truth in a very unpalatable way, in a very hard-hitting way, in a very agitating way? So we can communicate the truth, but the truth has to be communicated in a very dignified and sober way, and not in an agitating way. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. Priyahitam means we should be well-wishing. Okay, we should have a well-wishing intent. We should be genuine desirers of good fortune for others. We should not desire harm for others. We should desire good fortune for others. With such a well-wishing intent, if we speak in a non-agitating tone, then we can keep relationships nice. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chayava vangmayam tapauchate. He also says we should recite scriptural shlokas. All this is part of molding our speech in an effective manner. So when we speak in a agitating tone, what happens is the other person's mind gets a negative impression, and that will not immediately go. It will stay for a longer time. Fine. Relationships are like earthen pot. You know earthen pot? Pot made of clay. Relationships are like earthen pots. If you mishandle the pot and just drop it, it will break. Relationships also, if you mishandle the relationship by speaking in agitating ways and very rude ways, harsh ways, then the pot of relationship will break. So when an earthen pot breaks, can we reuse it? It's very difficult. Even if sometimes we happen to get some Fevicol and Feviquick and then get some clay and then attach the broken parts somehow, it was broken into 10 parts. You just brought together all the 10 parts and then made it workable again. Put some cement, put some white cement, somehow you made it work. Right? By saying apology, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I fall at your feet. Right? So you said all that and then patched up the relationship again, just like you have assembled a broken pot again. But once the pot is repaired nicely, we can't again rashly use it, roughly use it. We need to handle a repaired pot more carefully than a new pot, isn't it? Similarly, once we have spoken in a wrong manner and caused some kind of tension in a relationship, and we try to patch it up again, we have to be extremely careful. Even if you say sorry, even if you beg forgiveness, to the degree we hurt the other person, to that degree that impression is stored in the mind, right? Therefore, Krishna is saying that you should speak in a sweet manner and not in a harsh manner. Krishna is saying this. However, sometimes we have to speak little strongly, isn't it? When someone is doing some mistake, someone is breaking your phone, they'll take your phone and they'll break it. You can't speak quickly, please don't break my phone. Can you please not break it? But then he's already broken it. Okay. So sometimes we have to speak strongly, effectively. so that we make the point. So that's why Krishna gives other points. Well-wishing intent has to be there. So sometimes a person may speak in a strong tone, but the intention has to be pure. And our intentions are conveyed through our words. So a mother may chastise a child when the child is doing some mischief. A child is breaking the mic. Okay, child is disturbing the class. A child is, pushing this screen. Right, mother has to just control the child. Father has to control the child. For that, sometimes they may have to speak little loudly. Right, hey, don't do that. So they are authorized to speak like that because by default their intentions are pure. By default, a mother or a father is a natural well-wisher of the child. By default, a teacher is a natural well-wisher of a student. Therefore, they can speak udvegakaram vakyam also, not only anudvegakaram vakyam. In all our general dealings, we should speak in a very mild and gentle tone. But when it comes to helping someone with whom you have a loving relationship and by default you're a well-wisher, you're a caretaker, you're a guardian, then you can speak in a little strong tone also, just to bring a positive transformation in the whole situation, right? So this is how we need to interact with other people, right? So anudvegakaram vakyam satyam prihetam chet. So art of proper communication and speech Krishna is giving here. Art of tolerance also is giving. So Krishna, he is speaking art of tolerance. But you know what Arjuna said? Yes, I will tolerate. I will tolerate all the injustices done by Mr. Duryodhan, Mr. Dushasan, Mr. Dhritarashtra, Shakuni, Karna, and I will forgive them. I will go and make a nice cottage in a forest and chant Hare Krishna there, right? So I don't want any Hastinapur kingdom. So Arjuna said all this, not literally this, but Krishna said, no, don't tolerate. Don't tolerate the injustices done by Duryodhan and Dhritarashtra and Dushasan and Karna and Shakuni and others. Don't tolerate adharma. So Krishna is giving the teaching of tolerance, art of tolerance, but he's saying don't tolerate their adharma. Krishna is inconsistent in his words, right? On one hand, he is teaching you should tolerate, and on the other hand, sukha dukkha, sitoshna sukha dukkada, you tolerate happiness and distress. Arjuna said, yes, I will tolerate the distress of losing the kingdom. Krishna says, don't tolerate, fight with him. Right? So, you know what Krishna is saying? Krishna is saying that in your Kurukshetra war, you will definitely have to fight with your teacher Dronacharya and your grandfather Bhishma and many other relatives. And you may have to kill them, then they will die, and you will feel separation. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what did Arjuna say? He said that even if we win a prosperous kingdom, I won't enjoy. I won't be able to enjoy without my relatives. So, like when you are going to some program, you may dress yourself so nicely, right? When we are at home, we may have a casual wear. Okay. So when we have so much opulence, we want to show that opulence to some people, right? Then only we will get some kind of happiness. So what is the point of having a prosperous kingdom of Hastinapur without anyone to show off, without any relatives to enjoy it with? So Arjuna said, I cannot enjoy without my relatives. I cannot, if I'm separated from them, even if I win a prosperous kingdom, unrivaled kingdom, I won't be able to stay happily there. So Arjuna said that, but Krishna is saying that you should tolerate separation from your relatives, but you should not tolerate adharma done by your relatives. So Arjuna says that I cannot tolerate, if they die, I cannot tolerate their death because my interaction with them is only through their bodies. Krishna, I understand your philosophy. Soul is ever alive, body is never alive, body is temporary, soul is eternal. Even if I am going to kill my relatives, I am only killing their bodies, I am not killing their souls. A person has no death. All this I understand. But my interaction with my grandfather and relatives is through their body, right? So I cannot handle that. I don't want to get separated from them. Krishna said, tolerate separation from them, but don't tolerate their adharma. So we need to understand how Krishna is giving these teachings. They are not black and white. Tolerance means you cannot, in the name of tolerance, you cannot allow yourself to get exploited by others, isn't it? When others are unnecessarily taking advantage of your lenience, advantage of your tolerance, they're exploiting us, they are misbehaving with us. Should we tolerate? We cannot tolerate. We should not tolerate. So don't tolerate adharma. Don't tolerate misbehavior. Okay? But tolerate happiness and distress, considering that they are temporary. On a personal level, we should exhibit tolerance, but we cannot tolerate adharma. So again, Krishna spoke the art of sweet speech, communicate in a very sweet manner, anudvigakaram vakyam. But Krishna began Bhagavad Gita by chastising, scolding Arjuna. What were some of the initial statements that Krishna made in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Klaibyam masmaga mahapartha naitatvai upapadyate kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktva tishta parantapa. Okay. He said that where did you get this impotence? You are a great Kshatriya. You have so many military certificates. Arjuna, you have impressed Lord Shiva with your military power. You have impressed Indra also. You have received so many boons and benedictions and you have received so many astras from them. They are so impressed with your great strength as a celebrated army general. So if you give up this war in the middle, nobody will think that you have become compassionate on your relatives, you have become detached from the kingdom, therefore you are running away from the battlefield. Everybody will think that you have become so fearful. You got scared seeing Bhishma here. You got scared seeing Drona here. So people will defame you. Okay. So Arjuna said, I don't want to fight. Krishna said, if you don't fight, this is what people will think about you. And Krishna is chastising Arjuna. He's scolding Arjuna so much. Although Krishna is giving this beautiful lesson, anudvegakaram vakyam. Don't speak in an agitating tone. Krishna began Bhagavad Gita by agitating Arjuna. You understand? Although Krishna is saying tolerate happiness and distress, Krishna says don't tolerate the adharma done by Duryodhana and Dushasan. Kill them. Kill them. Okay. Even if you spare them, I will not spare them. I will kill them. In fact, I have already killed them. I have already killed them. You just have to manifest their death. In this way, Krishna is not giving some, fanatic teachings. He is not saying that, he is not giving some stereotyped teachings. So, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita must be applied with due diligence and maturity and flexibility. Right? We need to see the spirit behind Krishna's statements and not just take things literally. Right? So Krishna is a very accommodative God. He gives scope for both possibilities, two opposite possibilities also. He doesn't say only this is right. You have to tolerate. Right? Yes, you have to tolerate. Personal level, tolerate happiness and distress. Fine, you understand. So the circumstances in this life may sometimes cause distress, may sometimes cause happiness. So because they are temporary, both are temporary, try to tolerate. He said that. When someone is doing some injustice, don't tolerate it. Right? General dealings, you please speak very gently, politely. Okay. But when you're responsible to bring a positive transformation in someone, in some situation, it's your responsibility to also speak strongly. Okay. To bring a positive transformation there. So Krishna is giving both. So there are many such lessons, but with these two lessons, art of communication and art of tolerance, I would like to open for questions. If you don't have questions, I'll speak another theme, another topic. If you have some questions, we'll discuss. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Hare Krishna, everyone. I'm not supposed to ask a completely topic that we so just now. My question is related to the
Fine. If there is no other question, then she can ask.
so the question is, I had been to the video and they had informed that the Atma in the body. What happens in the childhood, it seems like that the Atma keeps changing. Is it true is same.
Atma is same, body keeps changing. Atma will pass through different stages of the body. When we were small kids, like this, so there is one Atma there, and the body is grown. Same Atma is there in the body. Any other question? Comment? 1, 2, 3.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So my question is, when you told about Krishna's act of tolerance, before that always Lord Krishna told us about the act of kindness. Act of kindness.
Kindness, yeah.
Taught us very well the act of kindness. But when the role of parents, especially mother, really with very naughty kids. So that time, the act of kindness and act of tolerance, how we should maintain, how we should,
Yes, yes. The answer was there in what we discussed some time back. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat. Priyahitam. Parents are by default well-wishers of children, right? If the children are being so mischievous, naughty, as you said, okay, if the parents have to rectify that naughty mentality, further they may have to speak little strongly, okay, and exhibit some controlled anger, okay. So that is bona fide, okay. That's a responsibility also. Mother Yashoda saw Krishna stealing butter, breaking pots, speaking lies, okay. And Mother Yashoda thought this fellow must be given proper training. So she chased Krishna, caught Krishna, took a stick, never bet Krishna, never hit Krishna, but she just threatened, scared Krishna with a stick, and she tied Krishna to a wooden grinding mortar. It's the mother's responsibility to discipline children when they're being too naughty, right? Sometimes when the child is very disciplined and very well behaved, mother may hug the child. Sometimes when the child is too indisciplined, too naughty, doing lot of mischief, mother may become strict with the child. Whether it is hugging the child or scolding the child, by default, mother is only having love for the child. Both are expressions of love. As far as tolerance is concerned, we need to tolerate their mischief to some degree, as long as it doesn't create so much damage. Of course, children are naughty. Who will be naughty? Elders should be naughty or what? Right? We should not be naughty, right? Grown-ups cannot be naughty. Only kids can be naughty. We can enjoy their naughty behavior. That's great. But if it's going beyond certain limits, we need to control them. We need to exhibit some controlled anger. So anger must be under our control. Okay. When you exhibit controlled anger to bring a positive transformation, that exhibition of anger is appropriate, bona fide, authentic, recommended. But when we come under the control of anger, okay, when child is doing some mistake, mother says, hey, don't do that. To that degree, it is fine. If the parent will just take the child and throw him on the wall, that's too much. So the parents are coming under the control of anger. Don't allow anger to control you. Use anger as chili. You know, chili powder. Okay. So to bring some taste in your preparation, you may add some chilies. But if you add more chilies than what is required for the preparation, nayanam galadhashu dharaya, navadanam gadgadarudhaya, all this will happen. Right? So use anger. Anger also has its utility in bringing a positive transformation. Right? So we can have to tolerate. When I was a small child, I used to scream, I used to shout, I used to yell while playing. Right? My mother does a lot of work and then she would sleep. And when I shout, my mother would just get up. And then she would say, why are you shouting so much? Because my sleep is broken suddenly because of your shouting, I have severe headache. Now at that age, tender age, I could not understand what my mother is going through. Now, if I am sleeping and someone shouts, that brings a lot of headache to me. Right? If I suddenly get up from sleep, if my sleep breaks, it naturally brings a lot of headache. Right? Especially when you are tired with back-to-back events and all. So it takes some time for kids to grow intellectually. Maturity is not a product that you can order on Amazon. 1 kilo maturity, 10 kilos maturity. You cannot order it. It comes by development of knowledge. It happens. So we should tolerate their innocence, but we should not tolerate when their naughtiness is going beyond certain limits. So we need to control that. Someone else? Does it answer the question? Yeah.
Krishna is to be proud.
So depending on the situation, right? So just now we discussed several examples. Example of mother dealing with children. Example of a warrior like Arjuna dealing with other villains who are standing on Dharma side. Depending on the situation, to what degree can we tolerate? So in the name of tolerance, we cannot allow others to exploit us, right? So when we are getting exploited, when our basic needs are getting compromised, right? When some kind of corruption is happening, right? So we need to take some actions, at least when it is within our scope, within our boundary. It's not that we try to, change the whole world, right? At least change your immediate world. Okay, any other question? Yes. You have another question?
Okay. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, regarding, I have two questions. One is basically one thing you told. I have already met all our previous chapters. So basically, God is saying that He already planned everything. So He knows all the living souls, entities, and what they do and what would be their reaction and how their life will be.
Yes.
Maybe multiple lives, not just one.
Yes.
So is that mean every action carried out by a living being is controlled by God? Or living being has his own responsibility on the action? This is the first question. The second one is
Let's go one by one. Right?
okay.
Our second question is related to it. Auxiliary or different? It's a brilliant question, by the way. So the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that I know the past, present, and future. Everyone got the question? So the Lord knows past, present, and future. Right? There is nothing that is a suspense to Krishna. Right? We have suspense in life. For Krishna, there is no suspense. Okay. So everything that has happened in the past, everything that is happening currently with every single living entity, and everything that's going to happen in their future, Krishna knows. Does it mean that we are just dummies? We are just puppets? We have nothing to do? We have no independence? So it doesn't mean that, by the way. Now, okay, let's again take this child example only. You offer a plate full of some sweets or some kind of salty items, some kind of spicy items. There is mirchi bhaji, okay. There is gulab jamun, and there is pulihara. There is some chakkar pongal. There is rice, chapati, dal. You just put everything in one plate and give to your child. Mother can easily predict which item my child will pick up. He likes gulab jamun. He will pick that up first. Right? Some kids, spicy kids, they want what is that mirchi bhaji. Okay. Some kids are like that. Mother can easily predict. Does it mean that child has no independence to choose which item he has to eat? So an elder person or the Supreme Lord, in our case, his ability to predict the future does not eliminate our independence to act currently. He is all-knower. He may predict or he may guess. He will exactly know what we are going to choose. But still we have a choice. Right? We definitely have some independence, minute independence. Okay. So Krishna will never interfere with that independence. Right? He knows the future also, but that does not mean that we don't have any independence to act. We can mold our independence also. We can use our independence to act productively or to act in ways that ruin our own sense. Does it answer the question? You need more elaborate explanation. Does it answer?
Yeah.
Let me tell you that. Percentage of control. So let me tell you one more thing. A father gives some pocket money to the child. Take this 500 rupees as a pocket money. Keep in your pocket. Whatever needs you have, you can use. He's a teenage boy. So if the father sees the child purchasing cigarettes and smoking at such a tender age, what will the father do? He will cut the pocket money, right? 500 rupees, no 500 rupees. Okay, take 100 rupees. Okay. So if the child is using that pocket money nicely, judiciously, with intelligence and with diligence, what will the father do? He may even increase the pocket money also. So the child just accumulates all the money. Okay, you have given me 500 rupees this month, next month 500 rupees. So he will keep all the pocket money of pocket money given by the father for 3 months and will purchase a very nice, attractive gift and give it to his mother on her birthday. Father will get impressed, right? The father is giving money. Father may even understand how my son is utilizing the money, but still the child has independence to either spend it for smoking cigarettes or for purchasing a nice gift to give the mother on her birthday. So when that child is utilizing that pocket money nicely, the father will increase it. Oh, you are not wasting it. From this month, I'll give you 1,000 rupees, not 500. So he will increase the independence. When the child is using in an inappropriate way, he will reduce the pocket money. Take 100 rupees, take 10 rupees, take 1 rupee coin only, right? So when we effectively utilize our minute free will or independence for right purposes, Krishna will increase our independence. But when we misuse that little free will or independence, Krishna will restrict it. For example, animals, mammals, non-human species, they have minimal independence. Human species little more independence. Devatas in the upper planets, residents of Swargalok and all, they have more independence. Independence of a living being is increased or decreased to the degree they are utilizing it.
चलो महाराज भाई देखे आते कारपेंटर बाजू में देखा जा रहा हटो ना हटो
Things are like machines, right? Machines have no independence to function. This does not have an independence. Okay, whatever key I press, that only it will it operates accordingly. So we are not machines. We are living beings. Living being means they should have independence. Without independence, we cannot be called living beings. So the Lord gives us independence. Makes sense? And He restricts it or expands it depending on how we are using it. Okay, thank you.
Second question is on not tolerating other, but in the Sabha Rajasthan where the act was going on with Dharma, they were all great scholars.
Yes, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Dhritarashtra.
Second thing, these great scholars were covered by the Maya of God Himself, or they had such capabilities, still they could have acted at that point. Like Vidura has stepped by warning, this is not going right. Similarly, these are also great sons of all the great demigods. They would have had, I think, some level of like whether it is covered by Maya at that time, so that this Rama is shown to each and every living being what is there.
This is another brilliant question. Thank you for asking such beautiful questions. So sometimes even great people are acting in inappropriate ways, unexpected ways, right, in this world. So that shows that unless one is completely pure at heart, unless one is a pure devotee of the Lord, there is a possibility of acting in inappropriate ways. However learned one may be, however exalted one may be, however rich one may be, however beautiful one may be, however wise one may be, there is a possibility of getting deviated from the path of Dharma and acting in inappropriate ways if we are not fully pure at heart, right? So that's a generic case. And as you said, Maya can influence even a great personality also. If one is not attentive, Maya can influence. For example, to climb on this roof, are there stairs? No stairs, right? Okay, so you need a ladder. Okay, you need a ladder. So you are trying to climb on the terrace with a ladder because there are no stairs or there is no lift, there is no elevator. So there is a fear. So there is no confidence in climbing on ladder. One who is accustomed to elevator, just go inside, press a button, you will go to 4th floor, but you have to climb on a ladder, there is no confidence. So initially there is some fear. You climb 2 steps. Oh, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Someone will encourage, do it. So you climb 4 steps, you get little confidence. You climb 8 steps, some more confidence. So after 10 steps, you feel, yes, I can do it, right? You are feeling that I can do it. So at 15th step, your confidence levels increase. I think I can manage. There are 40 steps, I can easily do it. Great. So 15th step, you have become sufficiently confident. When you go to 20th step, the confidence became overconfidence. At the 25th step, the overconfidence became pride. And at 30th step, the pride became inattentiveness. And because of being inattentive, they fell from there. If you fall from the 3rd step, you will not damage yourselves much. If you fall from 30th step, because of inattentiveness, overconfidence, pride, etc., you may break your head or hand or leg, something like that, right? Greater damage will happen. Therefore, the more we are becoming experienced, knowledgeable in the hierarchy of a company or in the advancement in spiritual life, right? The more we are becoming advanced, the more we have to be careful and attentive. If one is inattentive in an advanced position, one will fall down from there. The higher the altitude is, the greater the fall, the greater damage the fall can create. So, however exalted one may be, if one is proud, there is a possibility of getting deviated from dharma that will create greater damage. Fine. This is a general answer. Coming specifically to Mahabharata episode that we have referred to, why Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Dhritarashtra, so many people were there, they could not do much to save Draupadi. Not only them, Yudhishthira was there, Bhima was there, Nakul was there. Bhima, how powerful he was, you take 10,000 elephants in one row. In one hand of Bhima, in one arm of Bhima, there is the strength of 10,000 elephants. You keep 10,000 elephants in one row. Bhima would punch the first elephant. The 10,000 elephant will fall down. Okay, just imagine what must have happened to the first elephant, second elephant, third elephant. That is Bhima's strength. Okay, so Bhima was there. He couldn't do much to save Draupadi. Yudhishthira could not do much to save Draupadi. He is Dharmaveta. He is Dharmaraja's son. Arjuna, the great celebrated warrior of his times, the great holder of Gandhi Vabhav, he could not do much. Karna could not do. Karna, in fact, he is on the side in Duryodhana. Dhritarashtra, the king who is sitting on the throne, he is supposed to implement dharma. He could not do much. Bhishma could not do anything. Drona could not do anything. The lesson in this episode is, when every single force in the entire creation fails to protect you, only Krishna protects you. The lesson in this episode is to establish Krishna as the supreme protector. Bhishma, Drona, Karna, all these great people have great abilities to protect a simple lady, right? No doubt. But everybody is obliged for some reason. Somebody is handicapped in some way. Some people had the intention to protect. Some people had the ability to protect. Those who had the intention to protect, they did not have the ability to protect. Those who have the ability to protect, they did not have the intention to protect. Only Krishna has both, right? At all times. Gajendra, you know Gajendra? So Gajendra was caught by a crocodile. Yesterday I was saying this. Gajendra was caught by a crocodile, and Gajendra was fighting with the crocodile for 1,000 years. All the elephant friends of Gajendra who were on the shore of the lake, they were very concerned about Gajendra. They wanted to protect Gajendra. They had the compassion on Gajendra, but they did not have the capacity to protect. They had intention, they did not have the ability. And the Devatas who are watching from the upper planets, they had the ability to protect Gajendra, but they did not intend to protect him. They did not have compassion, although they have capacity. But only the Lord had the capacity and compassion. Only the Lord has intention and ability to protect all his devotees at any time. No restrictions for him. For him, there are no restrictions. So Krishna came to protect Mother Draupadi. Krishna came to protect Gajendra. Krishna came to protect so many devotees. Okay, it is to this incident establishes Krishna as the supreme protector. Okay. Anything else? Does it answer your question? Any other question, comment?
If you see real world nowadays, it's started. Okay, so as you say that if you should not follow justice and if you act on that exploitation justice on you, so you should try to change your immediate world, but that doesn't happen basically. Always you need to change yourself always. So, and I must say that immediate world.
Then that case falls into the other category. Matra sparshastha kaunteya. So when whatever is within our ability, if it is humanly possible, we try to address the situation, right? If it is beyond our scope, if it is beyond our ability to address the situation, we need to surrender to the situation. We need to accept it as our purification, right? When a devotee encounters some difficulty, you know how he thinks, I must have done some mistakes in the past and I'm getting this reaction today. Sometimes we may not immediately get a reaction. We'll take a lot of time to get the reaction, right? So in the current situation, we may be innocent. There's zero fault on our side, but still we are troubled in some way. So that shows that maybe 10 days back or 20 days back or 1 year back or in the last lifetime or 10 lifetimes back, I must have done some mistake and I'm getting reaction. And it's not necessary that every action should get an immediate reaction. Every action can have a reaction, but not an immediate reaction. When someone contacts that COVID, immediately it may not be detected also, right? It may take some time. Some virus may not be immediately detected. So we need to understand that nothing happens randomly. So with all our intelligence, manpower, resources, money, human abilities, physical strength, intellectual strength, mental strength, we should try to save ourselves from difficulties. But if it is beyond our capacity, we should learn to tolerate. Right? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is this: when we talk about tolerance, during the pre-independence era, British colonial era, invading period, there were many gurus living in India. Srila Prabhupada, Vivekananda, so many gurus. They all know. Still, why did they tolerate these things? So many bad things happening.
So the answer is that everyone has a particular bandwidth and preference in dealing with the problems of this world, right? Some people deal with problems in a certain way, some people will deal with problems in another way. So there are some spiritual gurus who try to bring transformation in the hearts of people so that their behavior will act. There should be some department in the society, say police people. When some people do some mistake, there is a physical punishment given, right? So a Brahmana deals with injustice or inappropriate behavior by inculcating knowledge. They work on the level of heart. So a Kshatriya works on the level of body in the sense that they will give a physical punishment. Both are required. That's why we need all kinds of people. We need people who are spiritually elevated, who can give wisdom to people in general, and we need administrators, rulers who also administer injustice in a more gross manner, right? If needed, they give physical punishment and all. So society must be filled with all kinds of people with different talents in dealing with adharma. So different spiritual gurus are dealing with adharma in a different way. Everyone need not focus on one problem only, or everyone need not focus on one facet of the problem only. The problem has multiple facets, right? So one deals with one facet, another person deals with another facet, right? Does it make sense?
You asked if we tolerated too much, like we tolerate. We accepted everything and we did not even fight back.
Probably it may be true, it need not be true. We are not sure in those days. before our birth. Independence happened before my birth. How can I say about the situation there? When a real life situation that is happening now is presented to me, when I'm involved there, I can say whether the tolerance is more or less. But in those days, we are not fully sure. Right? Maybe some people have tolerated more, some people have tolerated less. Both must have happened. And in some places, the intolerance levels increased a lot. In some places, it was not like that. But it could be anything, right? But there are people, the point that the main question that you asked some time back. So there are spiritual gurus who are focusing on dealing with the problem in a different style. Other people should deal in a different style.
My question is,
Where,
how we can apply these principles of tolerance at our workplace? Usually at our workplace, apart from us, everyone looks like a shakuri or a villain. How to deal in such situations?
Apart from us, everyone is Duryodhan Chekni. Right. We need to deal with the Duryodhan within them. We need to deal with Shakuni within them. Right. By the way, to my limited understanding, everyone need not be Duryodhan and Shakuni. There may be some people. Maybe their population may be more than Dharmaraj population and Arjuna Bhima population. Okay. But yes, it depends on the case. Shakuni or Duryodhan within the hearts of some people may act in different ways. Are they trying to suppress us or oppress us? They are in superior position. We are in a subordinate position. They are trying to oppress and suppress us. They are not allowing us to come up. That's one way. Then we have to deal with it in another way. So if this is the problem that you are facing, then you need to escalate the matter to their higher authorities. Right? That's one option. Or their colleagues who are trying to compete with us and dominate with us, envying us, you need to deal with them in a different way. Sometimes maintaining safe distance from them is a solution. Okay. Or there are younger people who are not respecting us and not following us properly, right? Maybe you can appoint someone else as an in charge. You can keep someone between you and them. So there are different ways depending on the nature of their non-cooperation, depending on your own value system, right? You respond in a certain way. Some people have natural tolerance, and the tolerance could be exploited by other people, and other people will see the tolerance and then behave with that person in a very gentle and appropriate manner. He's a sadhu. He's a simple person. So when in IISc, we had in our BTech college, we had one professor, right? He's very gentle, very mild. So all the students who are accustomed to comment on different professors, when they come to the case of this professor, they treat him as a real guru, right? Real sadhu, real teacher. So when although other people are not following certain moral standards, when we stick to our values, we definitely attract respect and loving treatment from people who have those values, right? And there are people who are exploitative in their mentality. Whatever may be your behavior, they will treat us badly only, right? So with them, we have to change the gear, right? We cannot travel in one gear only always. I don't know driving much, but you need to keep changing gears. That adaptability to circumstances, that flexibility is what is a result of maturity. Does that make sense? Thank you. Any other question? How much time do we have? It's 1:08. 5 minutes. Okay. 25 minutes we have. Oh, but class is still 1:30. Okay. You can ask more questions if you have. Yeah. I see 3 hands there.
Actually, when we read
Okay.
yeah, we want to handle like that. So when situation will come, that time we totally focus. We are simply
It happens.
things, oh no, this is the not good way. situation will come another way. So then again, how to learn it. So it keep on coming.
Yes, yes, that's very natural. So, in my 8th standard, with the inspiration of one of my teachers, I wrote down all the formulas, mathematics formula, right? I maintained a small book, pocket book. So all important formulas I would just write. So it became a list of more than 100 formulas, right? But sometimes I fail to apply the right formula in the right context, right? You solve one problem, you apply another formula, it will not be solved. But the positive outcome of such a failure in applying the right formula is you understand that this formula is not appropriate in this context. So you identify what is the right formula. So generally in exam, if you make some mistakes, mathematics exam for example, you make some mistake, you come out of the exam, you discuss with your friend, I used this formula to solve this problem, and they said they used another formula to solve the problem. So then you understand, oh, this is right and this is wrong there. So that goes into the memory faster, right? Instead of when we are memorizing all the formulae and trying to apply on our own, so there is some effectiveness that we can show. But when we apply something wrong in a wrong manner, and when we are informed that this is wrong and this is the right thing, then we remember it more. So every failure gives us an opportunity to grow from where we are. So let us take that also in positive spirit. As Krishna taught us so many values, we may not be able to immediately apply the values in every circumstance that we are dealing with, every interaction that we have with others, but eventually we will grow. Does it make sense? Any other question? Yeah. Then.
But sometimes people we are reading a particular book and but our mind is somewhere else like that person doesn't mean like that. So I should be doing like this to me. Why to me and how of it not these orders that time if we continue or we should stop that showing and we should focus on pause and even for some time.
Yes. We have some intentions and we have some abilities, right? Right now, a average sadhaka, average seeker's intention is to purify oneself and focus on what they are doing. But the purity levels are not so much. Their ability to concentrate is not so great, right? But they're trying to do it. So if the intention is to get rid of the malice in the heart, if the intention is to get rid of the envy and pride in the heart, and if you are trying to read Shastra or do any devotional activity, Krishna will reciprocate. Although we are failing to do that activity very effectively at this moment, Krishna will one day reciprocate. For example, taking your case, we are reading one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So the thought of someone disturbing you in some way is coming every now and then. It's disturbing you, it's distracting you from your study. Okay? But still you continue to read. Read. 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages. In some page, in some line, you will find some solution. If our intention is to get rid of the thoughts, then Krishna will reveal that solution to us through that activity that we are doing, through that reading only, right? So although our consciousness is not pure enough, although we are distracted enough, let us continue to engage ourselves in the devotional activities so that the devotional activities will act on us, right? That will bring the necessary transformation in us, right? So to give a very crude example, knowingly or unknowingly, if you touch fire, it will burn, right? Whether with concentration or without concentration, if you are doing a devotional activity, that devotional activity will have a positive impact sooner or later. Okay, so Let's have faith. Let's have intention, right intention. Makes sense? Thank you. Any other question? Yes, Mataji.
The question is like how to
You can ask.
overcome any desire, because we are in this world where the daily life everything. Okay, so doing devotional activities, practicing some spirituality, all is fine, but then also two aspects are there always. Any desire of anything, okay, money or ambition, whatever it could be. So how to overcome that? It's not really 100% I'm saying, but if somebody is say I'm not able to do that, even the little act possible also. So how to proceed on that?
Bhagavatam says, Ashahi paramam dukkham nairashyam paramam sukham. I hope you understood simple language. So desire is the cause of all distresses, and desirelessness is the cause of happiness. However, star conditions apply. Right? What are the conditions? If we have bad desires, malicious desires, desires to hurt others, desires to exploit others, desire to demean others, desire to earn money for ourselves by cheating others. So that kind of bad desires, wrong desires are cause of distress. But if you have good desires, sincere desires to help others, to worship Krishna, to offer patram pushpam phalam toyam to the Lord, so to cultivate good qualities, to chant nicely, to read nicely, these kind of desires, devotional desires, are beneficial. So as we are following this path of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and studying Srimad Bhagavatam and doing whatever services that we are doing in the service of Krishna, and the invisible body has mind, intelligence, and ego, right? You know this, right? So mind is a storehouse of all the thoughts, desires, feelings, emotions. But intelligence is the faculty within us that analyzes, that processes the desires. So mind desires something, and intelligence analyzes whether this desire is good or bad, right or wrong, auspicious or inauspicious, beneficial or harmful. All the processing and analysis is done by the intelligence, right? So to have desires is common for any living being. If we are living beings, we have desires. This phone does not have any desire because it's non-living. But living beings have desires. But to have desires is not wrong, but we need to cultivate the right kind of desires. For that, we need to sharpen the intelligence by studying Bhagavad Gita, by studying Shastra, by associating with wise people. So if we sharpen the intelligence, intelligence will regulate the desires. Intelligence will streamline the desires. Intelligence will analyze the desires whether they're right or wrong. So once the analysis is done nicely with good intelligence, then bad desires reject. Good desires work on it. Make sense? So let's sharpen the intelligence. Okay, any other question or comment? Yes. Does it answer the question, Madhu?
It's about how to practice Dharma in the real world. And the practice of Dharma makes us, intention to the object.
Good question. But I have one question, Pati. What do you mean by Dharma?
Huh? other person like
Now you asked
essentiate the dharma.
what, how to practice dharma.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm asking what do you mean by dharma?
Dharma in my terms, if you don't make harm to others, if you don't make any harm to others, that is dharma.
That's definitely one aspect of dharma. So dharma has multiple meanings. Anyone would like to contribute? I'm only speaking. You also can speak. You want to share what is dharma? Yes.
The one of the greatest dharma is chanting.
Okay, chanting the names of God, not doing anything harmful to others. Okay, any other definitions of dharma that we have? I'll have some throat rest. Okay, what do you mean by that? Following scriptures is dharma. That's what Prabhuji said. Okay, any other definitions? Huh? Okay. Okay. Mata is saying there are two types of dharmas. One is eternal, one is temporary. Okay, very good. Any other questions? Any other answers? I couldn't get it. Give mic to Mata.
हरे कृष्णा अगर हम अपने किसी भी कर्म को धर्म प्रभु से जोड़ लेते हैं तो धर्म कहलाता है।
Okay. Any other question? Thank you. Any other reply? Understanding of dharma?
It can be like a family member. My take is it's duty.
Yes.
Like as a family member, you have different type of duties. That is your dharma. As a devotee, you have a different type of duty. That is your dharma. So it's a form of duty.
Great. Dharma means duty. One last explanation of dharma is helping others. Okay, helping others, not harming others, following shastra, chanting the holy names, and duty, and two types of dharma. Yes.
Something which is a personal call after contemplation, which we take, which is meant not only for your own well-being, but the well-being of everybody. It should be such a decision, or if it is a decision in the first place, or it can be a discharge of a duty towards the well-being of everybody.
Okay, great.
That is
So it's another deeper explanation, higher explanation. Okay, so dharma is that which is beneficial to one and all. That's amazing. Any other? One more hand I have seen. Following good habits. Okay, that is dharma. Okay, all these are dharmas. Okay, so all your answers are very good. Yes, madam. One last.
Hare Krishna, everyone. With some good intention, with the purity of the heart, any work, any karma which is done for somebody's well-being, even if it is against of
Personal interest.
the flow of thoughts of that particular person, even if it is somebody's somebody being in the war like that, for the well-being and for the justice for the front people, that is maybe the option.
Yes, great. Thank you so much for all your contributions. Yes, all of you have given different meanings of dharma. All of them are correct. But let me just put all of them together and give a quick summary of it. Then I'll come to your main question, how to follow dharma. So dharma, as Prabhu said, is duty. And as Mataji said, we have spiritual duties and we have material duties. So to maintain my body nicely, in a healthy way, that is my dharma. Okay, as an embodied being, that is my dharma. That's a external duty. But there is a spiritual duty, because we are all children of God, we are all servants of God, we are all lovers of God, we are all amshas of God. As spiritual parts and parcels of the supreme spiritual being Krishna, we have dharma towards him. Okay, that is spiritual dharma. A part of it is chanting the names of the Lord, following Shastra. So now, in short, Mataji is very nicely reconciled. In short, we have two dharmas, right? Two flavors of dharmas. One is attending to our immediate duties, okay, as according to certain designation that we have, according to certain position that we have. Second is identifying our own spiritual nature and doing some spiritual activities. One is spiritual dharma, second is material dharma. In Arjuna's case, Arjuna was a Kshatriya, fighting in the war of Kurukshetra and establishing the rule of a righteous person on the throne of Hastinapur. This is dharma, right? And Brahmana's dharma is to teach, and a businessman's dharma is to do business, with proper integrity. A student's dharma is to study. A teacher's dharma is to teach. A doctor's dharma is to treat. A patient's dharma is to take medicines properly, right? So different people have different dharmas. Okay, so according to their physical situation, external situation, fine. But that is a temporary dharma. Today, someone is a student and his dharma is to study, and the student can become a teacher tomorrow, and the dharma changes. The dharma is to teach, right? So dharma is duty, but the duty keeps on changing according to our designation, according to our position, according to time, place, circumstances, and the candidates involved. Fine. But there is a permanent dharma, which is our dharma towards the Supreme God. So our identity as children of God will never change, right? Whether we are human beings or devatas, or animals, or birds, or fishes, we are all children of God. So we have an eternal dharma, considering that identity as a child of God, that will never change. So as spirit soul, as a servant of God, my dharma is to serve the Lord. And as a person within this body having certain responsibilities, my dharma is to attend to those responsibilities, right? Do justice to the designations, right? So how to effectively do the dharma? To effectively do your material dharma of taking care of family or doing your corporate services, whatever. So there are certain norms and policies set there. So please do it. As a householder having some family, we need to give some time, effective time to family members, right? So spend time with them, we should be loving and affectionate towards them. So that's one dharma. Raising children is the dharma of parents, right? So we need to do that. We need to fulfill those needs. And coming to the other part, spiritual dharma, as a devotee, we need to perform bhakti unto Krishna. We need to chant the names of the Lord. We need to study the scriptures nicely. We need to apply the teachings of the Lord in our life. And by doing so, we will benefit ourselves, we will benefit other people. Whether we are doing temporary material dharma or permanent spiritual dharma, that following of dharma should benefit us and should benefit others materially and spiritually, as Mataji said. So, and to follow this dharma effectively, we have role models. To follow your spiritual dharma nicely, take guidance from spiritual leaders. Take guidance from great devotees. Then you can follow that spiritual dharma nicely. To follow your material dharma nicely, if it is your office dharma, then you have your bosses. Follow the instructions given by them. Okay. If you are a family member, so there are elder members in the family who have seen life so much, take guidance from them. So to effectively execute our dharma, we need guidance from experienced people, whether it is in spiritual circles or material circles. Make sense? Thank you.
Prabhuji, one more thing. Just wait.
Here.
The
Atma is a living being, an individual living being, a person. Atma is a person basically. So that Atma or the person can sometimes be in a human body, can sometimes be in an animal body, can sometimes be in Devata body, can sometimes be in a snake body, can sometimes be in a fish body, depending on the activities done by the person. So somebody wants to eat a lot of flesh, for example, by being in human body. then the Lord will recognize, oh, he wants to eat a lot of flesh. Fine, let's give him a tiger body. Okay, so in tiger body you can do that well. So point is, depending on our activities and our mentalities and our swabhava, we get different bodies. But if you have devotional mentality, if you do devotional activities, then we get a permanent spiritual body in the spiritual world.
After station, we can not eat more, but do and then continue doing.
No, there are so many atmas. You getting right? Individual living being. There are so many atmas. One individual atma can be in an animal body, can be in a human body, depending on the activities. Same atma can traverse through multiple bodies. Just like one atma is traversing through a child body, boy body, adult body, old man body, right? Within one lifetime, we are changing body. Atma is changing body. At the time of death, Atma will leave this body and go to another body. Getting right?
Yeah.
One person. Atma is a person. Just like you join kids in a school, in LKG. They read LKG 1 year. UKG 1 year. First standard 1 year. So they studied in that school up to 10th standard. They changed the school. Same person, same child, changed the school, went into college. Then after that, they entered BTech college. Then they entered MTech college. Same person is changing different colleges, right? Similarly, same Atma can change different bodies in different species. Okay. Like that, there are so many Atmas. Just like in a school, there are so many students. Make sense? Here, someone.
Actually, whatever elders usually say about Dharma is giving charity. So when we say the word Dharma, comes with giving charity. But when we say Karma, the word what we are supposed to do in this lifetime, that is what we say Karma. And in Karma, the same word is used for past. That comes.
Okay, good.
So I'm just like Dharma.
Yes, naturally there is confusion because the Sanskrit words have multiple meanings. Okay, they have given me coconut water here. Fine, coconut. You pluck a coconut fruit from the tree, green, such a big coconut, that is coconut. Remove the green covering, it is still coconut. Remove the brown fiber, it is still coconut. Remove the hard shell, it is still coconut. Remove the pulp, it is still coconut water. Last stage is coconut water. Before that, there is coconut pulp. After that, before that, there is coconut shell. Then there is coconut fiber. There is coconut covering. So at all stages, this can be called coconut. Okay. Now, in South India, this bride comes with a coconut in the hand, right? So her marriage. So when the pujari who is conducting the marriage says, okay, get the bride with coconut. He can't get coconut water in that. Right? They have to carry coconut. Somebody is making dhokla. You know dhokla? There's some Gujarati item. Okay. So the cook is making dhokla and he asks the assistant, get coconut. He has to take coconut pulp and grate it and give it to the cook. That is coconut. Coconut, grated coconut. If he brings the coconut fruit, the cook will bang it on his head. Right? Don't you have this common sense? Somebody is doing some yajna where some dry coconut is used. You know, dry coconut, you just get disconnected from the coconut shell. Full. Okay, that is used in yajna. Yajna pujari asks the assistant pujari, get coconut. He has to get the dry coconut. He can't get grated coconut for dhokla. Right? So depending on the context, the word coconut takes on different meanings. You agree? Similarly, karma has different meanings. Dharma has different meanings. When you say karma, the basic meaning of the word karma is action, work, action, right? That's one meaning. Second meaning of karma is reaction to an action. Third meaning is prescribed action. This is an action prescribed to me. As a kshatriya, I have to fight, I have to rule, I have to extract taxes. This is my dharma. This is my prescribed action. Fourth is fruitive action. You know what is fruitive action? You are performing an action to get a specific fruit, not coconut fruit. to get a specific result. In this context, fruit means result, not apple or musambi. Okay, so this is fruitive action, means we are doing an action to get an intended result. Fifth is the whole chain of actions and reactions. So one word karma has 5 meanings. Okay, coming to dharma. Dharma has multiple meanings. Sometimes the word dharma is used to indicate a material duty. Kshatriya dharma, Brahmana dharma. Okay, then Kula dharma, Jati dharma, or what else? Means the family tradition. That's what Kula dharma is. Or spiritual dharma. Savai Pumsam Paro dharma. The supreme dharma of every living being is to serve Krishna. So like the dharma word also have multiple meanings depending on the context. Right? Dharmam to sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Right? So in some contexts, dharma is also indicated, is used to indicate charity. So beggars come, they say, please do some dharma. Means you have to give some donation. That's what they meant. So dharma has multiple meanings, karma has multiple meanings, atma has multiple meanings. Sometimes atma is soul, sometimes atma is super soul, sometimes atma is mind. The atma word is used in multiple contexts to indicate multiple things, right? So instead of getting confused, we need to ask people who knows these finer nuances, right? So yes, it's naturally confusing. In some shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna says karma, is he indicating work or reaction to that work? Does it this answers your question? First question.
In case of Bhishma and in Dharma, like they have in their mind they have taken the vow that because this person has ability, I should serve him till the end of my life. Like Bhishma, he wanted to serve the kingdom of Hastinapur till the end of him. So he had taken that as his dharma. Is that right? And in case of Karna, he has his friend helped him. So he wanted to serve him in spite of anything. Despite of anything, he wanted to serve his friend because he helped him. So he has taken that attitude as his dharma.
You may consider like that, but in Bhishma's case specifically, he had two kinds of dharmas. One dharma is his obligation to the Hastinapur throne, that we have highlighted. Another dharma is eternal dharma, which is his obligation to Krishna. Not obligation, his love for Krishna. So love cannot be obligation, by the way. So his love for Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme God, and Bhishma is a devotee of Krishna. Fine. So as a devotee of Krishna, Bhishma wanted to help Krishna, assist Krishna, and serve Krishna in establishing dharma. Okay, dharma samsthapan. How did Bhishma help? Bhishma is siding adharma, and by siding adharma, he is assisting Krishna in establishing dharma. How is it possible? So it seems very surprising. The answer to this is Krishna wanted to give all of us a lesson. Very important lesson. You know what is that lesson? Yeah, please. Yes, that's exactly the answer. Even if you are so strong, powerful, influential, talented, a great celebrity, if you side adharma, you will be defeated. Krishna wanted to give this message to all of us. He has kept the most powerful warrior of the times, Bhishma, on the side of adharma, and made him defeated by a younger warrior, Arjuna, his own grandson. Arjuna is nothing in comparison to Bhishma in terms of military, right? But Arjuna defeated Bhishma because Krishna wanted to give this lesson to us. Even if you are great Bhishma, you will have to fail if you have taken side of others. So that's a lesson that Krishna wants to give to all of us. Another point is, Krishna, how can he use Bhishma in this way? Okay. However dedicated devotee or servant you may be towards somebody, can someone engage, can the superior engage a subordinate in this way? Why are you giving this service to me? Give it to someone else. Give it to Yudhishthira. Give it to Arjuna. Let Arjuna fight on the side of adharma. I will fight on your side, and I will get your mercy. So Bhishma did not get into that negotiation because Bhishma understood, although Krishna is asking me to side on adharma, still Krishna is kind towards me. Krishna is affectionate towards me. You know how? Bhishma is a devotee of Krishna who has a mode of fighting. Virya rasa. You understand Virya rasa? Someone likes fighting. Action movies, some people like, right? Okay, that is Virya rasa. So Bhishma has Virya rasa. He is a servant of God in Virya rasa. So unless Bhishma stands on the opposite side of Krishna, how can that Virya rasa be experienced? Right? So to give that experience of Virya rasa to Bhishma, Krishna made him fight on the other side. An external reason is he took the side of adharma and he wants to give us a lesson. But the deeper reason is he wants to experience Virya rasa. So what's happening on the battlefield is rasa exchange, right? Love exchange is happening between Bhishma and Krishna. And Bhishma is more merciful to Arjuna, more merciful to Bhishma than Arjuna. You know why? Where is Arjuna sitting? In the Kurukshetra war. He is in the chariot behind Krishna, seeing the back of Krishna. And where is Bhishma standing? In front of Krishna, seeing the face of Krishna. Krishna's constant darshan is available to Bhishma, not to Arjuna. So Bhishma received more fortune, more blessings, more darshan, more grace from Krishna than even Arjuna. So externally, Bhishma is misunderstood by different people. That's also to protect the confidentiality of bhakti in one sense. That's a deeper subject matter. But actually speaking, Bhishma is given so much mercy by the Lord. You want one more? One more aspect. When Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows, not roses, bed of arrows on the battlefield, Krishna came along with the Pandavas to give him darshan. In the presence of Krishna, Bhishma departed from this world and went to the spiritual world. Many people think that Bhishma waited for Uttarayana to come. You know this, right? Bhishma waited for Uttarayana to die. No, Bhishma is not waiting for Uttarayana. A devotee, whether he dies in Uttarayana or Dakshinayana or day or night or Monday or Tuesday, devotee will go to spiritual world. Devotee's death, whatever time it can happen, he can reach Krishna. Okay? So why Bhishma is waiting for Uttarayana? He is not waiting for Uttarayana Kala. He is not waiting for the time Uttarayana. He is waiting for the person whose name is Uttarayana. Who is that person? Krishna. Krishna is called Uttarayana because he protected Mother Uttara. Ashwathama released the Brahmastra to kill the child within the womb of Mother Uttara, and Krishna protected Uttara. Right? Therefore, Krishna is called Uttarayana. Ayana means one who protects. So Bhishma is waiting for Uttarayana Krishna, not Uttarayana Kala. So you want more reasons why Krishna is merciful upon Bhishma. Apparently he added the adharma, but actually he is. Karna is villain. There is no doubt about it. Okay? Bhishma is not like. Karna called Draupadi prostitute. What can be more heinous offense than offending a chaste woman like that in public? Krishna may sometimes give some mercy, extra concession to some people also, but it's okay. So what's the time?
I think
1:43. I have other classes.
The prabhuji will be available for some time. I know you cannot believe yesterday we had 7 hours of this course, and today also we have come to 7 hours plus 4. They are very deep, right? Sometimes we have a black and white of perception from whatever we have learned from the previous lives or from whatever bits and pieces, whatever we have heard. But it's very important for us. The coconut example we heard, right? It has so many deeper meanings based on the context. But once you come to the association of the devotee, because we hear from the acharyas, they really reveal us how to we apply this principle to the end of. Right? So it is so essential for us to follow the Shastra. to read the Shastra in a proper way. So I would request, we have not heard from this class yesterday morning and today morning. He told us, in which mode you have to read the scriptures, in what method you have to read the scriptures, and how to apply the scriptures in our own life. Right? So this is proper standard chanting of the name by coming to the system of the devotees and by somehow or other making an endeavor to transform our life. Right? This is journey. And we have all started. So we really like to thank you very much. We would request all of you to please take advantage of the weekly program that we have on this day. So when we come together and discuss how based on the context we apply this and online. Also has a lot of right, if you go to YouTube online, there is not many classes. This is the process of beautiful sweet nectar and verses. You can open later YouTube nectar verses. So many beautiful verses are there. Prabhuji, a lot of lessons from Gita. You can search it in YouTube. Very beautiful lessons from so many slokas and Bhagavad Gita. You can learn from it. And of course, Prabhuji very advanced sources like like as you go further, you know that how little you know. And notice that the external products, how to be absorbed in Sanskrit and how to bring Sanskrit into our life. So we are very, very thankful to Prabhuji for spending some time with us in spite of his business. Let's once again thank Prabhuji by once again loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. The closing comments for all the devotees a couple of months now.
Okay. I am very grateful to be amongst all of you, and I thank Sudhir Gopal Prabhu and all the other organizers for arranging these regular events where devotees come together and hear such spiritual subject matters and then inch forward towards Krishna's lotus feet. My best wishes and prayers for all of you, and I also need your blessings so that I continue in my path of bhakti. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So we have a quick dinner because we are fortunate to have one brand from so wonderful devotees. We have quick kirtan, dancing kirtan, and then we have a grand feast awaited because we are celebrating some birthday gifts. Things are waiting for us. So we are looking forward and then we go for the I would request Anil to So Hare Krishna, so we just have 4 minutes and then all of us will go. All the kids, younger kids, elder kids, everybody is come along. So we would really like to thank our Piyush Prabhu, Priyanka Mataji and family for sponsoring today's grand feast. Let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for this family loudly and lovingly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Rama. Devsana Mataji. Devsana Mataji is here. Devsana Mataji, daughter. What is the other case? Okay. Next time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
No, not from here, not from here. Otherwise, you will lick it on. Can't be. No, go back.
Krishna Krishna Hare